Hey, welcome to the David Pakman Show. My name is not David Pakman, although I may sound exactly like him and look just like him. My name is Jesse Dollemore, and I am the host of the Dollemore Daily on YouTube and a podcast co-hosted by myself and the lovely, talented, and scholarly Brittany Page, and that podcast is called I Doubt It. Thanks to David for giving me a chance to talk about the headlines with you today. Let's get into it here. Donald Trump, because of many different possible reasons, is acting, he's kind of regressing back to old habits and being as radical and as unhinged as he possibly can, I guess, maybe as a measure to set himself apart from the momentum and enthusiasm that surrounds Kamala Harris's campaign. And it puts his staff and his spokespeople in a position to defend the indefensible, to do what in normal politics would be spinning, except it's not in the case of spreading conspiracy theories and allying yourself with dangerous domestic terrorist groups like QAnon. And that is exactly what Donald Trump has done over the past few days. Not only has he gone to Arlington National Cemetery and just shat upon hallowed ground, sacred ceremonies of our fallen heroes, he's also taking to True Social and spreading insane posts and conspiracy theories that now his people have to answer for. I'm going to play a clip here from CNN. Yesterday, John Berman from CNN was interviewing Caroline Leavitt, one of his spokespeople. And she's directly asked about all of the past 36 hours and these insane, absolutely dangerous reposts that Donald Trump is taking part in, putting forward ideas about jailing his opponents, that being the only way to right the ship or to fix the system. We'll put these up as we go. But also vile, misogynistic talk about, I'm going to bleep everything here, so everybody calm down, a lot of job talk, a lot of misogynistic, sexist language like you would expect from Donald Trump, but from a presidential candidate who's now his third time around trying to be president again, and just absolutely alienating more than half the population of the world and obviously the country. So here's that moment from John Berman and Caroline Leavitt.
You say Donald Trump is the candidate of stability. You say that Donald Trump was the candidate of stability. Why was Donald Trump, over the last 36 hours on his social media, reposting slogans from QAnon and reposting misogynistic, sexist content about Vice President Harris?
Well, look, I don't think your viewers at home are concerned about social media posts. I think they are concerned with the news of the day. And the news of the day is that a Venezuelan illegal immigrant crime gang has taken over a hotel in rural Colorado because of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's open border policies. The news of the day is that, again, gasoline prices are 50% higher today than they were under Donald Trump. The news of the day, as a new mother... Do you know why he posted that? Do you know why he reposted that content? I haven't been able to talk to President Trump yet this morning because he is calling into media interviews, unlike Kamala Harris, who has been avoiding the press for more than 40 days. And we're excited that CNN finally has the opportunity to question Kamala Harris tonight about her disastrous record. And we hope that Dana Bash, and we're confident that she will ask tough questions of Kamala Harris's record. Because, again, Americans aren't concerned with social media posts and silly memes. They are concerned with the problems that are plaguing them and their families right now. And they need and deserve answers to the questions of Kamala Harris. Does she still support a ban on fracking? Does Kamala Harris still support eliminating cash bail for violent criminals? Does Kamala Harris still support decriminalizing illegal immigration? And again, I ask, and I hope CNN will ask Kamala Harris this tonight, why does she believe she deserves a promotion when she has been responsible for the failures of the past 4 years?
Did you ask Dr. Phil, or did you tell Dr. Phil what questions you hoped he would ask?
All right. So before we get to the answer she didn't give, let's talk about the reality and the answer she wants to talk about. She says, I don't think your viewers are concerned about social media posts. I think they're concerned with the news of the day, and the news of the day is, and she talks about the open borders policies of the Biden-Harris administration that don't exist. Gas prices being higher 50% today than they were when Donald Trump was in office. There's a host of different reasons for that. I know David talks about it all the time, being an educated man in economics, talking about finance and inflation rates and gas prices and supply and demand and what caused that. When we're all in the middle of a pandemic, fearing for our lives, huddling in our bubbles, not driving, not going anywhere, the price of gas went down. She talks about one, also mispronouncing Dana Bash's name. This seems to be just a refrain with these idiots. But Americans aren't concerned with social media posts and silly memes. Well, let's take a look at these silly memes and just basic social media posts. We'll start with this one that Donald Trump posted. Funny how jobs impacted both their careers, but differently. Donald Trump found this so amusing, so informational that he wanted to share it with his audience. Here are altered images of Democrats and Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Anthony Fauci, and Bill Gates, apparently, and Kamala Harris, all in orange jumpsuits. The only way to actually fix the system is to imprison his political opponents. The same thing that he's constantly whining and banging on about. They get more sinister, though. Indict the unselect J6 committee, sedition, retruth, if you want to lock them up. Sedition, they say, treason against the country. When in fact, the only treason or seditious conspiracy that was entered into was by the people who committed the atrocity of the insurrection against the country, the attempted overthrow of the United States government, the attempted overturning of a free and fair, settled American election, an attempt to end democracy in the country. But they're all about projection. All roads lead to Obama. Retruth if you want the public military tribunals. A lot of QAnon stuff in here. A lot of QAnon individuals. He's retruthing. He's reposting their posts. And that's why this is dangerous. Even the government. I'm going to read here from this unclassified Federal Bureau of Investigation and Department of Homeland Security Strategic Intelligence Assessment and Data on domestic terrorism. For years now, QAnon has been recognized as a grave domestic terrorist threat. We have witnessed violence at the hands of adherents to this cult, which is just a subsection, a subcult of the main cult of Donald Trump. People have been arrested for attempting violence and committing violence because of their adherence to this wacky, bizarro conspiracy theory that's unmoored from reality. This is from page 42 of this 44-page unclassified report. We assess that adherence to elements of the continuously evolving QAnon conspiracy theory, some of which are bolstered by the resonance of election fraud narratives, will contribute to the radicalization and mobilization to violence of a small number of DVEs. DVEs are domestic violent extremists. This is from the federal government. Posing a threat to individuals and institutions that supporters of the conspiracy theory have prominently denounced. The participation in some self-identifying QAnon adherents in breach of the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, who were arrested and charged with violent entry and disorderly conduct in a restricted building and obstruction of an official proceeding, underscores how some QAnon adherents can accept the legitimacy of violent action. And then they go on with other examples of violence, the threat of violence from QAnon people. So it's not just social media posts and silly memes. These people are in it to win it, as it were. These people are true believers in their nonsense. And Donald Trump knows they are. He's thankful they are. He's grateful that they are also in a cult because it makes them easier to switch and to sway into the larger cult where he's the dear leader. This is a problem. It's not silly memes and social media posts. And Donald Trump is setting he's setting the stage. He's setting it up right now for when the eventuality does happen and he is again defeated in both the popular vote and the Electoral College, these people will be ready for action. He has signaled his allegiance to them. He has signaled his support of their beliefs, and it's going to get bad. It'll certainly get worse before it gets better.
Are you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Sleep is one of the most important foundations of mental and physical health. And our sponsor, Beam's formulation called Dream, is a delicious nighttime hot cocoa drink with melatonin clinically proven to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. Melatonin can also help correct circadian rhythm disturbances, get your sleep schedule back on track, for example, in jet lag situations. Dream comes in great tasting flavors like mint chocolate chip, chocolate, peanut butter, sea salt caramel. I love the cinnamon cocoa version. No sugar added, sweetened with monk fruit, just 15 calories per serving. Dream hot cocoa it's just a nice way to wind down before bed. It's hot and flavorful. It's not overly sweet. It's a soothing way to relax about an hour before going to bed. Go try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder and get 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is in the description.